Hey guys, Jalen here, Straight Edge Landscaping. Today we're doing a black star installation. Let's do it. So first things first, we're gonna go in here, remove all this fabric and kind of the out with the old and with the new. So if you see right here, we're just shoveling all this old mulch. There's a little bit of leaves in here, getting all this bamboo and stuff out. When we do this, we put it in the wheelbarrow and then run it out to the front yard to throw in the truck. So a little back and forth there. And yeah. Next, this part kind of takes a second. So this is something that's pretty meticulous. It's the installation of the heavy duty landscape fabric. And for this, we take our end and make sure you unroll it, cut it up, and you want to roll it out the most logical way, right? With the roll facing upward. What we like to do too is stake it on the side you're starting at. So in this bottom corner, I'd be staking both sides with these, I think 4-inch galvanized stakes, kind of just hold everything in place. And then we just roll out the roll, and you really want to butt it up close to the seam as possible. We do this just to ensure that things don't spill out over time, whether that's mulch, gravel, pea gravel, anything really. And then after that, we cut in a slit. Often it's like a little X, but these plants or these bamboos were a little too big, so we kind of had to do it in 2 phases. So this first go round, we're cutting off the first half and really just cutting around the front lip. So what I did is cut like a T, and then I just tucked it under. If you can see in this bottom left side, we just tuck it under. And same thing to this next bamboo stalk. So pull it tight. I should have staked it at that first bamboo, but that's all right. So second thing here, so like I did this T, so it cut up, and then a left and a right. And what that does is kind of form this upside down T, allowing you to tuck it all back and then butt it right up against the bamboo. So yeah, like I said, originally we probably cut like an X in it, but I think this plant bed was like 4.5 feet wide. So we have to do it in 2 ways. So yeah, after that, same thing, just run it all the way down. That's what this is. And there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 8 or 9 of them. So it took a second. And yeah, and then after that, this is the black star we're putting in, the type of gravel. So what I like to do is just kind of throw it in slowly after everything's staked and cut around. We don't want to put too much. You don't want to like shoot it to the back because it can really make a mess. So yeah, and this stuff is kind of heavy, so try not to waste it or spill it because it is not fun to clean up. Try to spread it pretty evenly. I'm really big on that. Just try to get the most of the tool. So the wheelbarrow is really helping for like maneuverability. That way we don't have to like run it back and forth or just put it all in one spot and then you're stuck trying to force it back. And like I said, this material is kind of heavy, so it's not as easy as, you know, mulch, or if we're using like pea gravel or something to move. It's pretty dense stuff. I kind of do it in thirds. That's what works well for us. So like I said, on the back side, being that this plant bed is a little too wide, we have to use 2 pieces or 2 rolls of fabric. So if you can see here, we're about to put on this back layer. Pro tip, work back to front, and I'll explain why. So when you work back to front, the part I'm standing on is on top of the first layer. And the way we throw the material is to the back. So what happens if you throw it to the back in this format, it can get caught under that second layer of fabric. So it's really important to work back to front, because when you do that second layer in the front, it layers on top of the back row, meaning if you throw it to the back, nothing gets under the fabric. It saves time, saves poly material too. It's just like, it's kind of a pain because once it's under there, you kind of have to get it all out piece by piece, and it takes a while. So yeah, just keep that in mind if you are doing a gravel mulch bed or have you in the yard installing fabric. Work back to front. It's a big help. Yeah, so same thing with that T concept. Yeah, just cutting this T again, rolling that back. I tuck it under here. I wouldn't tuck it on top because it's gonna kind of get caught. So cutting around this bamboo. We try to butt up as close as we can to it. Of course not, you don't want to encroach on the root flare or anything like that. So we get pretty close, and then I just like to tuck it and just make it nice and clean. You could cut off that excess, but in the event that you want to take it up or reuse it, or the plants grow, something like that, it's always there. And it kind of doubles as a double layer of protection, which I really like that, because it's just more efficient, I think, than cutting it off and being wasteful. And so this is a concept I was talking about. And you have to do this for every seam. And that's why it sucks. Because if it was the other way with the other fabric on top, you just have to shoot it back and you're fine. So really keep that in mind if you guys are or anybody is looking into installing fabric work back to front. Because if you don't do it this way, it will take you so much longer, so much longer. So after that, we really just rinse and repeat. So take the fabric, throw it over, and we're gonna cut an X here. So this is what I meant by cutting that X, one line that way. Oh, dropped the blade. And then another way in the opposite direction. And this creates like a little X, that way you can just open it up some and force the plant through. So after that, we just start laying some gravel, re-seaming everything and putting it over, and then we backfill. This is the final product. It came out super clean, super nice. Client loved it. This is what it looked like before. Not too hot. Bam. That's what it looks like in the after. Straight edge landscaping. We'll see you in the next one.